in school, we used to have a game where you just chop each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was always fun because like you could either go for it, but then if they blocked it, they get to get you, or you could like fake it out, and then if they flinched, you could get one with them, and they had to hold their hands behind their back.
Nice.
And this was like just a 24/7 game.
Just constantly throwing chops at each other.
Yeah, it was great. That was like year 11 to year 10. I loved it.
I feel like you would very much enjoy a game about throwing chops at each other.
Oh, I'd like hit people in like the back.
Oh, Liam. No.
They'd like hit me in the head.
This chop game seems to have gotten out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, it was fun though.
We have some nice knife edge chop to the chest. That's fine. But back chops are a particular low blow. That's.
Bro, sometimes like you'd hit like the Phoenix.
Mm.
Like the overhand chop. Those would suck.
Oh.
But it was a good time. There was nothing better than flinching someone out and then you're like, and you have to put your hands behind your back.
Then you get to go full Roddy Strong.
Yeah, but then like at that point it's like you kind of like, you know that you can push your chest out to take it a bit, you know?
Or sorry, full Rod Strong if you're Scott Hudson.
Yeah, big Rod Strong.
Speaking of, let's move on to the other small X Division notes for the month. Just get it over. It's mostly building to the next America's X Cup. So the next show, February 18th, begins with Jerry Lynn, Elix Skipper, Chris Sabin, and Sanjay Dutt facing the team of Shark Boy, Jason Cross, Jimmy Rave, and Liam Fave, Roderick Strong, making his TNA debut.
This is thick era Roderick Strong for sure.
Yeah, with the tights and everything.
Yeah, someone who I would go on to consider top 5 wrestler of the 2010s. Not quite there yet, but still really good at this point.
I thought he was far and away the best wrestler in this match. He didn't have a lot of, like, him and Sanjay got in there, and they were clearly like, we're going to do some wrestling.
Yeah, it was really great. And you can see the crowd getting into it too as they were going. It was fun.
Yeah, Skipper did like a Rainmaker, but he did it from like $1 million dream.
He also did it like immediately. It was great.
Yeah, he had him in the $1 million dream, and then he pulled him into a Rainmaker. It's like, geez, everyone's stealing things from Elix Skipper.
Yeah.
Because he does the buckshot lariat in this match too. Not as good, not a very good buckshot lariat in this one, but still.
I think the buckshot's a more direct thing.
Because he did the buckshot where he did the thing over the ropes, but then kind of lost his footing. So he didn't do it like seamlessly into the lariat where it rules. He did it and then kind of hit a lariat afterwards, and it was like, oh, okay.
I like this match because as you saw the people come out, you're like, this is we just lost the Super X Cup, so we got to get all these guys a win. I liked a little note from Don on commentary where he's like, well, listen, we shouldn't completely like not give this other team a chance here because Shark Boy, Jason Cross, and Jimmy Rave have all teamed together at some point.
He was especially focusing on Shark Boy too. He's like, I think Shark Boy's going to be an X Division champion someday.
And how wrong he was?
He was wrong. Very unfortunately wrong, but he was wrong.
How many future X Division champions are in this match?
Give me a shell, yeah. Well, the future is only 1.
2?
If you don't count people who have already won the belt, there's only one other person who goes on to win the belt in this match.
But who has a title reign after this?
2. Only Sabin and Sanjay.
Yeah. Sanjay not for a long time, right?
Not until 2017.
God damn.
It becomes a long story of Sanjay finally getting his X Division title win.
Look forward to us covering that in 2032.
Scott D'Amore on this show makes his kind of on-air debut. He was in the PCO promo back in December, but that was more of a talking head thing.
And this is also, he's in character here.
Yeah, this is him actually playing a character on the show. So Terry Taylor, who's filling in for Scott Hudson, who's filling in for Mike Tenay, who was fired, we'll get to that in a minute, is backstage with Scott D'Amore, talking about how there will be the next America's X Cup coming up on March 10th. It will be Team AAA defending their America's X Cup trophy against Team Canada, led by Teddy Hart. The Team Canada team will be Teddy Hart, Petey Williams, Johnny Devine, and famous Canadian Jack Evans.
Yep, notorious Canadian, Jack Evans.
100% Canadian man, Jack Evans.
Canadian rap sensation, Jack Evans. From the heavens. The heavens being Quebec.
So Scott D'Amore does a promo here talking about how Team TNA dropped the ball. They lost to Team AAA in their home company, in their home building. It was an embarrassment. So the NWA and Jeff Jarrett, they've all turned to Scott D'Amore to put together Team Canada to take down the team from AAA.
So I think this is quite historic, because this is like the start of maybe the second most famous TNA stable ever.
Who's the most famous, do you think?
LAX?
I would have said the Main Event Mafia is probably more famous than Team Canada.
I don't know. I really considered Team Canada like a staple TNA thing.
Yeah, they were the stable of this era in particular. But like, if you were to ask the general person who had maybe watched TNA to name TNA stables, honestly, I think the Main Event Mafia would come up first.
Probably Aces and Eights would come up first too, but
Aces
for different
and Eights
reasons.
would probably come before LAX and Team Canada as well. Yeah, sadly. But yeah, this is the formation of Team Canada.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. We didn't get like the theme song, but the theme song is coming up.
Yeah, so the next week's show, it was Petey Williams, Juventud Guerrera, and Jerry Lynn in a three-way match. As mentioned, it was meant to be Teddy Hart in this match, but he twisted his ankle working a match that was taped for the America's X Cup show that's coming up on March 10th. So he was pulled out of it, replaced by the debuting Petey Williams.
And what a joy it is to see Petey.
I don't think he was particularly good here, but sure.
No, but it's nice to see him, because you know what he will become.
Yeah, he looked nervous. He looked like thrown into the deep end, which he kind of was.
He looked like someone who was in his third year of professional wrestling.
Yeah, making his national television debut.
Yeah.
In there with Hoovy and Jerry Lynn, who hate each other now because Jerry Lynn was dropped on his shoulder.
Oh, he was probably terrified, huh?
That must have been a fun dynamic to be thrown into. It's like, oh, Jerry, you're wrestling Hoovy again, but also this kid's there too, so good luck.
Yeah. Hey, hold it together. Thanks.
They had a perfectly fine match. Petey won.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've got to get Team Canada off to the right start, proving that they are better than Team NWA.
I would imagine that Teddy Hart was booked to win the match, which would make sense because he's team captain, but obviously he was pulled out. So it's like, Petey, you're winning. So yeah, Jerry Lynn hit a TKO, but he couldn't get the pin because his shoulder was hurt. Which they did incorporate even in the 8-man tag the week before against the team of nerds. He was even then selling his shoulder, being like, it's injured, it's caused me problems.
He might not be actually selling.
Yeah, he's a smart worker. When he has a limitation, he works it into his matches. So Petey won. He followed a splash onto Hoovy after Jerry Lynn hit his TKO to pick up his first win in TNA. Petey Williams. He did not hit the Canadian Destroyer yet.
I was waiting for it.
I'm surprised he didn't hit his big high spot in his debut.
Yeah, maybe he just wasn't allowed.
So that's the X Division for the month. It's mostly just X Cup stuff.
There's a lot of backstage stuff with X Division stuff.
We covered most of it already. I brought it up. It's mostly Teddy Hart being crazy.
Teddy Hart not selling the Hoovy driver.
Nearly all of it is Teddy Hart being a crazy person.
Yeah, go read it.
We mentioned some of it. It's mostly he's injured but might be faking his injury. When it was announced he would return, somebody said that he'd allow Hart to return over his dead body. I wonder, was that CM Punk? Because he didn't sell the Hoovy driver last time. Did we mention the story last time where when he wrestled Hoovy, the lights went out? I think we did mention this last time. Hart stood up, he went up to the top row, performed a backflip, and he told him he did it because he didn't think he would be booked again. So it was a way of saying goodbye. And it's like, well, that's a way to make sure you're not going to get booked again. That's
a Teddy Hart classic.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that story when we were talking about the Super X Cup back in September? Yeah, September. And yeah, the story about him walking around being like, did you know I'm a Hart? And my Uncle Owen died in a wrestling ring?
That's a weird thing to bring up.
It's a very strange human being. I like the way they have the classic complaint about somebody like him where it's like he doesn't understand psychology. It's like, yes, he does. His matches rule.
And also, like, that's not the thing to get on Teddy Hart about, I don't think.
Yeah, he does freaking spiral taps and stupid moves. His matches are good. I'm sorry. Just that you hate the man, and he is deeply problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the note that this was meant to be a TNA versus IWA show, but that was dead because they signed an exclusive deal with a New York investment firm to promote them in the US, which excluded them running a co-promoted show with TNA.